You slide into the driver's seat, turn the key to the run position without even starting the engine, and your check engine light instantly pops on, leaving you with poor acceleration and lousy gas mileage for the rest of your drive. When you plug in your diagnostic scanner and find a P0069 trouble code, your engine computer is waving a red flag about a major disagreement between the manifold absolute pressure sensor and the barometric pressure sensor. Your engine needs to know the exact density of the outside air to calculate the perfect air-to-fuel ratio. It does this by using a barometric pressure sensor to measure the atmospheric pressure where you are driving, whether you are at sea level or high up in the mountains. At the exact same time, the manifold absolute pressure sensor measures the vacuum pressure inside the engine intake. The brilliant part of this system is the startup test. When you turn the key on, but the engine is totally off, there is zero vacuum inside the intake manifold, which means both of these sensors should be reading the exact same outside atmospheric pressure, which is roughly 29.92 inches of mercury at sea level. If the computer compares these two sensors during that startup phase and sees wildly different numbers, it instantly knows one of them is lying. This code is incredibly common on a lot of Mazda, Ford, and Volkswagen vehicles. The absolute first thing you should do is pop the hood and trace the rubber vacuum line running from the intake manifold directly to the pressure sensor. Over time, that rubber hose gets baked by engine heat, causing it to crack, collapse, or get completely plugged up with thick carbon debris. If the sensor cannot feel the actual pressure changes because of a clogged hose, it will trigger this code. If the hose is perfectly intact and you can feel strong vacuum pulling against your finger while the engine is idling, you need to inspect the wiring harness. Look for wires that have rubbed through their protective insulation and are shorting out against the metal engine block. Pull the electrical connector off and look for any green corrosion on the terminals. If the wiring is pristine and the vacuum line is clear, you most likely have a permanently failed pressure sensor that needs to be tossed in the trash.